So hello all and welcome to Discussions and Groups workshop. Some of this we went over a little bit yesterday, but we're going to definitely look at a little bit more that we can do with discussions. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. So when you are in your course, you're going to see on the left-hand menu that there is a discussions link. You can come in here and you can create a discussion. So I'm going to call this discussion questions and answers from the instructor. And I'm going to say, please ask all course-related questions here. So once I create this discussion, I can say, do I want the students, this was what we called in Blackboard post first. So do I want the users to post before they can see what anyone else has said? In this particular questions and answers one, I would not say that. I can enable podcast feed, which allows the students to reply in podcast. I'm not going to enable that, but it is there if you want to use it. Is this graded? Yes or no? If it is graded, is it a group discussion? How many points is it worth? Are those going to display? Am I going to do, is it an incomplete? Is it a letter? Is it points? I'm not actually going to grade it, so I would just leave it at points. What category do I want this to be included in? If I don't have the category that I want, I can create it. So if I say discussions are 10% of the student's grade, I am going to create that group and I'm going to call it discussions and add the group. And then I can assign this to that category. Peer review we talked about yesterday. Do I want, this is a discussion and I'm not going to do peer review on it, but if I wanted to, I could say review and assign some people to review each other's. I'm going to uncheck graded because I really don't want to grade it. And if I say, I can say available from, and I have to make sure that I put it to June 3rd because yesterday I had a problem with that. And I can set a time. So if I want it the beginning, or I can just say, I want it to open on the 3rd. And when do I want this to end? So I opened it on the 3rd. This week ends on the 9th. So I'm going to say, that's how I'm running mine. And I save and publish this. I can just save it or I can save and publish. If I just save, and I go back to discussions, you will notice that there is a circle with a line through it, which means students cannot see this. I can click on that and it will publish it. All of the discussions that are in this course are listed under discussions. If I want to pin a specific discussion, like the Q&A, I can move it into this and it always stays at the top. So if the students come in, they're going to see it right away. So if there are 20 or 15 discussions, the one you want prominently displayed at the top, you just drag it and you move it and you drop it. And then it becomes pinned. When you no longer want it pinned, you move it back down. Yep. For some reason, it's not moving for me. I can also say unpin it. And that will work. If I want to close something for comments, I want the students to be able to read the discussion, but I don't want them to be able to post to it anymore. I can take that and I can move it to so I can move this to close for comments, or I can do the menu item and say close for comments. And the minute I say that that discussion is closed for comments, it moves down here. If I go into the student view and I look at the discussions, I can see that I can view this only. I can no longer, it's past the availability date, so I can't post to it anymore, but I can read and be part of what was said in there. I just won't get credit for it. Anybody have any questions so far?
And I just want to reiterate that when students click on that, so if they click on a close for comment, they can just go in and read what was there. But like Diane is saying, like the reply button for them will be missing.
Right. So you can see that the reply button is gone as a student.
I also want to point out, you can also do this automatically if you use the until date. So once the until date is passed, they won't automatically go into the close for comments, but they will be labeled no longer available. And again, the student can just click on it and read, and the reply button will be removed. So you can either do it manually or automatic.
I am going to reopen that for comments because I didn't mean to close it. Now you will notice that this one said it was due on April 16th. So if I go in and I edit this, let me go into this. And I edit this one. Today's the 17th. I did not set a date. I said it was due on the 16th, but I didn't set a date, which is why it's still available and I would have to go and turn it off. If I had set the date here, and I save that. And then I go back to discussions. It says it's no longer available. So let me do the student view. So I can still click on this as a student and read anything that was posted. But again, I cannot post to it. So those are the two ways that you can make things unavailable, but not close it so they can no longer read it. Now, let's say that I'm in modules and I can add the discussion that I just created to one of the weeks. And if I edit it here, when I go back to the discussions area, it's going to be edited. So unlike Blackboard, where you had 2 areas that you had to manage your discussions, the link in the week versus the list of the list of discussions, that's not how it works in Canvas. The discussion is the discussion. If you edit it in the week, it changes it here. If you change it here, it updates wherever you have that discussion board linked.
Diane, do you have to create it in the discussion board section, or could you create it in your
Oh,
mod?
no, I can go into modules and I can say, so I want to add a discussion in week 2, right? So I'm going to come here and I'm going to say discussion, and I'm going to say create a topic. And I'm going to call this week 2 question. And I'm going to add that item. Now I have the discussion. And if I come in and I edit it, nope, I have to click on it. Sorry. I always forget that. When you click on it, you can then edit it and add whatever text you want for the question and set all the settings. So is it post first? So you create it in the week, click on it, edit it. Put all the settings in, save it, publish it, save it, don't publish it. Now, when I go back to the modules and I go to that week 2 question, here is my question. And if I decide that I'm looking in the discussions area and I say, oops, I need to fix that, right? I can come in here and I can edit it either place. You'll also notice that you can see in here how many unread replies there are and how many replies there are. So in this particular discussion, 2 students have replied, but I haven't read them yet. So I can see that there are 2 posts here and 2 that I haven't read. Same for the introduction, 3 replies. So if I come in here and I click on this, and I go back to discussions, it changed because I saw 2 of the responses and I clicked on them.
And then just to reply to them, you just click on the reply, like the other side of that.
Yep. If I want to reply to John, I just come in here and I click reply. And it brings up the this button here shows if anyone has replied to that. And Natalie replied to John, and this is what she said.
And then can they reply in any format? Like written, video or whatever?
They can. With the rich text editor, all those that toolbar is completely available to them. And within there,
So-
there's actually the ability to record themselves. The only downside is that it does not come with automatic closed captioning,
captioning.
but it is available as another way for them to kind of do like a multimedia response. They can also upload documents and stuff.
They can also upload it to YouTube, which does do the closed captioning.
True.
And link it from YouTube. But
That's true.
this would be the this button right here would be to upload if you've recorded something, you can and you have it in the course space, you can click it from there. We don't recommend that. If you're going to record something, we recommend either YouTube because it does closed caption, or recording something and throwing it up on OneDrive and then linking from that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
I believe in one of the other discussions that we have, whenever you click on it, Alex did like a really short, I think in the post first one, the personal writing journey discussion. It doesn't show his face, but if you scroll down, you'll see that student did put a little image and then a little video. So just a quick to kind of show you what it would look like.
You can hear Alex in the background saying hello, but I have my headset on, so you can't actually hear it because I'm not sharing my sound. But that's what it would look like if a student did it. And you can see that someone posted something and then deleted it.
Is adding the picture simple? Because I know in discussion boards on Blackboard, it's not.
This is yeah, so if I go reply, right, and I just click the post, I can just upload an image, or I can click user images and nothing is in the core space. But if I click on this and I say upload an image, I can just either drag and drop something in here. So if I open up my pictures, and I just drag a picture of me and I put it in here. That's how easy it is. And then I say submit. There's the picture.
Okay, but you can't do like a copy and paste kind of thing, like clip something from a picture online somewhere and paste it in.
I believe you
I-
can. I'm sorry. I believe you can do that if you do go to a page and kind of copy the
I'm going to test
image.
it right now.
Yeah, I think I did discover that.
But yeah, because usually I have my students like share like children's books with each other, but it's so much better when they have the visual of the picture of the book cover. And so I would
So
hate to have them-
I just used the snipping tool, right? And I copied that picture from, I had it on my desktop because it's puppy love. It's from another course. And so I used the snipping tool, and then I just in that reply. So if I edit this again, I just did Control V, and it was on the clipboard. So if I go into the clipping tool, right, and I say new, and I do this, right? I'm not sure if you can see me
Yep.
clipping that. And then I come here and I just do Control V. There we
Okay.
go.
Great. Thank you.
And then I can, if I click on that, I could say image options, and I could put alt text in there. So I could put alt text, book cover of Dr. Seuss, Green Eggs and Ham. Sam does not like that.
I also just tested that if you go to Google and you copy, you know how you can kind of right click and find the copy option?
Yep.
You can also, because it'll save it to your clipboard, just like how Diane is showing with the snipping tool, it
Okay.
will paste into the discussion area for them to then.
Oh, perfect.
So
Thank you.
copy image and then paste image.
Exactly. Yep.
Right.
Great.
And I did do, let me do this again. Edit. I did Control V, but if I right click, I can say paste, and it will also paste. If I say paste without formatting, it will not come over because it's an image. So they just want to do Control V or paste. Now let's say that you are creating you're in your modules area, and you're creating a page, and you're saying week 2 to do, right? So then I click on this, and I'm going to open it in a new window because I want to edit it. And then what I can do, right, is I can say, okay, I want the students to watch a video, right? So watch. and I can click this and make this a link if I have the link to the video, or I can click this and make it a YouTube and type in search criteria and put it in. Or again, I can just do an external link and put in a video link. I can also link to course links. So if I have a quiz that's due week 2, I can put that in there. And if I want them to do the week 2 discussion, I can click on discussions and add that week 2 discussion that I created. And then when the students come in here, they're just going to click on these links and it's going to open that
So
discussion.
do you guys recommend doing that or just allowing them to go through the module and like go down?
I do. So pages are great if you have like if you have a lot of content that you want them to get through in a week, thinking about maybe making a page to have that, like read these 17 articles, watch these 23 videos. You're laughing, but
Yeah, I know that's my course though.
so when when you so if you have that page, you could say week 1 videos, right? And then
Mhm.
have those videos in there, right? And then instead of having 42 links in week 1, which
Right.
makes the screen, like makes week 1 come way down, right?
Yeah.
Then you only have like 5 or 6 things in that week.
Okay.
And the students can access it, and if it's consistent, like what you want them to do, what you want them to watch, what you want them to read, how you want them to interact with the class. And it's just, and then you only have, maybe 5 things in each week versus.
Yeah, no, I think that's a better idea because like I always had that kind of page thing initially in my folder that had all their assignments and all their readings and videos and all that good stuff. So it's good to know how to format that a little better. Thank you.
You're
And
welcome.
I think what's also nice is that you can consolidate things on the activity itself. So let's say you had 5 videos that you wanted them to watch that were related to the discussion. You could link all of those on the discussion itself. So it kind of depends on how you want to go about it.
Thank you.
Yes, so you could in the discussion, you could say, I don't know why I can't spell watch today. And then what I do, right, and this is just because I'm a little crazy, is I say watch the videos, right? And then I tab over and I'm just going to go to YouTube. All right, so then I can just put in, and I'm doing in an external link. And And I'm just going to paste the video URL. So that's, you can just put a link in, right? You can also go here and search by the video. And this is the video that I just added. And then you can embed that. So you could say small embed, medium embed, or large embed. So if I put the small embed in, it's just going to add that video right there. So you can either do it by the link or you can add the videos. And then this would be the question regarding those videos. So what activities did you learn that you could do with children ages 3 to 5? Or
And then if this link like breaks or something, will you know, or like, is that one of the things that you have to check constantly?
you have to check all the time. If you do the embed, when you go in here, you're going to see a gray screen, and then you know automatically that it's broken. Or at the beginning of the semester, right? If I go into settings and I run a course validation, right? And I start this, if I had used a broken link or a video that's no longer available, it would show up.
And would it bring you like right to where it is, or no? You have to go find it.
Oh, yes, it links
It'll
you
bring you
directly.
right to it.
It will.
I was trying to think if I knew someplace that had a broken link, but I don't know right off the top of my head. Because what'll happen, right, is if I go back to those discussions, right, and I go to I think it was this one that I just did. I just added the video too, right? And I'm going to edit this, right? And I'm going to go to the link options, right? And I'm going to mess this up so it breaks it, right? And I'm going to save it. Right? So now if I click on this, it's going to tell me that it's, although it's going to something, so it might not show up as broken, but we can try it.
Oh, this will also, if you by chance break a link or delete a file from your course,
let me go move that over.
the validate link will also curate those as well.
Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, what I thought I broke, I didn't break.
It might be because the embed is still working.
Right. No, it has shown me if you go to that discussion and you click on that link, it's bringing me somewhere. It's not just if I click on the link, it's not bringing me where I want to be, but it is bringing me someplace. So that's why it's not saying that it's broken. But it does it really does nicely when you do this, when you do the validation link. It tells you what week it's in, what item it's in, so that you can go back and edit that specific thing, or you can click on the link and if I say edit this, change this, right? To remove the link, and then I say file. Um, let me see if that'll do it. Okay. So now that's broken. So the great thing about discussions is there are many ways that you can add them. So that, see, this is right here. This is where the link lives, and this is what it is. So if I click on either this or this, it will bring me to where it is and what's happening with the page. So then you can edit it and fix it. But that link validation is really great. So you can just run that every semester, and it'll tell you anything that's broken or no longer working. Okay. So if we go back to discussions, we can say, click on this one. And I'm going to edit this. So I can say this is a group discussion, right? I can say, I want this to be a group discussion. If I've already set up a group, I can choose it here, or I can create a new group or a new category. I'm just going to say, I want it to be test group. And I'm going to save this. Now this has been added to groups. To manage groups, you go to people, and you can see I have two groups. I have the discussion group, which has one student each, because I was going to use that for journaling. And this is the test group, and I have those two students. I have no unassigned students. So discussions are the same as with Blackboard. All of the students can post, all of the students can read each other's posts, and all of the students can reply to each other's posts. Canvas does not have a journaling tool. So there are two ways that if you want journaling in your class that you can accomplish that. One would be through a discussion that you made a group discussion, and you said, I want, as I did in people, one student per group. Discussion group, sorry. So each group has only one person in it. So when they post to that discussion board, one person can post to it and one person can read what they posted, and then the faculty responds to them. The other way you can do that is through the assignment tool. And as you know, it works the same way in Blackboard as it does in Canvas. Only the person who submits to the assignment can go in and review what they've written or see what they've written. So to create that journal, right, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to say journal week 1. I've written really great questions. I hope everybody uses my questions. I am going to make this graded. And I'm going to say this is worth 10 points. And I am going to say this is a group discussion. Now I'm going to pretend I don't have a discussion group. So I'm going to create one. And I'm going to call this my journal group. And once I set the name, then I come to group structure and I say, I want to, and the choices are, you can split the students by a number of groups. So you can say, I want 5 groups, and then however many students there are will get split evenly into those groups. Or I can split number of students per group. And I can say 1, because I only want 1 student per group. And then I'm going to save that. And then it's assigning however many students are in the course to the groups. And then I can set my due date, my availability from and to. I'm not doing that because I just want you to be able to see the group issue. So now the students would come in here and post to this journal and they would see it. And I now have a new tab in the people area for the groups, and it says journal group. And I can see I have journal group 1 and I have journal group 2. Now, let's say I have a student that joins late. They would show up here in this unassigned area. So I would need to go in and add a group and then add that student to that group, because they will not automatically be added in if they're late starts. But this is, groups are wonderful if you have projects that you want them to work together on. So you can have a group discussion or a group assignment, and they could share.
Diane, can I just ask a few clarifying questions?
Sure.
So in the very beginning, when you were talking about like pinning the discussion board and things like that,
Mm-hmm.
the only way to put it in order is if you pin it.
Correct. Well,
Okay.
it's ordered by recent activity.
Yeah.
So if the students go into the modules and they see week 1 journal, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would then become the top one because they were interacting with it.
Right. And so I went into one of my courses and like I pinned one thing and then I went into the student view and I can still see that there's all these other discussion questions, but they're just not available until a certain date. Is that right? Okay.
Correct. Even if I pin them, if that journal is no longer available, right?
Mhm.
It's going to say not available, no longer available. So if I move this up here, right?
Yep.
And then I do and I rearrange this, right? So I want
You
this to
you
be
can
the
rearrange
top
your
one.
pin stuff. You just
The
can't
pin
rearrange
stuff,
the
you can't
discussion.
rearrange
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Because and I've tried 100 different things. You really just can't rearrange it. The
I
only
kept
way to do
redoing
it
it
is
over
if
and
you
over
pin it.
again to move
Yeah, the
them.
only way to do it is pin, because the minute you click on it, it rearranges them again.
Yeah.
So like you go into, you're looking through the weeks and you're fixing things, right? You're making sure things are spelled
Mhm.
correctly and the question is the one you want for the summer. the minute you touch it, it changes the discussions, how they're ordered.
Right. That kind
But
of
if
makes
I
it
come
confusing.
into the student view now, right, I
Mhm.
can see all of the things that are pinned, even that one that's not available anymore.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess it really doesn't matter if you pin it or not, to be honest, then you can
No,
just, because no matter, either they see it, they're gonna see everything anyway, and if it's their discussion question for week one, when
right,
they go into their module, they should see that first anyway.
right.
Okay. And then my other question is, when you're in your discussion and you're doing all your criteria and all that, and it says like assign to, and it has everyone,
Hmm.
and then you click in that box. So if I had somebody that missed a discussion board and I only wanted to open it back up for them, I would just click on their name. Is that how that works?
Correct.
Okay. And then how do they see the rubric? If you have a rubric for your discussion, they have to
Okay,
click on
so
something?
let me click on this and let me edit it. See right here, I can add a rubric.
Yep, I figured out how to add it. I was just curious, like, how does the student see it? Did they not see it until I grade it? Or do they see it ahead of time? Do they have to click on something to see it ahead of time?
Okay, so that's what we're going to look at right now. And I added it to the introduction discussion. So if I go to student view and I go to discussions and I go to, I don't know that I added it correctly because I haven't played around a lot with rubrics. And oh, it helps. Is this one open? Leave. So I'm going to do it to this one because this one's open and they can see it. And I'm going to add the rubric.
I think go into student preview mode once you added the rubric.
Yeah. Yeah, the other one I did it to I couldn't see it because
Yeah.
it wasn't available.
Click the three dots for me. And then
And
show
there it is.
rubric.
Yep.
So that's the only way the student will know to see the rubric. They have to know to go to those dots and click on it
Right.
if they want to see it ahead of time. I assume. Yeah.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
But you can always just add it to, you know, like underneath personal writing journey discussion post first enabled. I would just put underneath that, click the dots to review the rubric before submitting.
Okay.
Or if you're going to use rubrics for the discussions, maybe in your getting started module, you could just put,
Yeah, well, I guess I was trying to figure out, should I put it there or should it go into I mean, it's in the syllabus too. I think I've had like
Mhm.
multiple places where I put things. And so
Right.
now I'm trying to figure out if I should be limiting those because the setup is so different and I don't want to make it too overwhelming.
Mm-hmm. And although you see rubrics on the left-hand menu, students do not.
Right.
Does anyone else have any questions about groups or discussions?
Diane, this is Gabe. I do have a question. In Blackboard, there are in discussion boards, I comment on students' quality of their discussions, a scale of 1 to 10, and I say what was wrong with it, if something was wrong with it. Is there a space, maybe I missed it, is there a space in these discussions in Canvas where the instructor can make comments and reply to their
Which one did I make?
discussions?
I think I made this one graded. Right. So let me edit this and make it graded.
Oh, we do have one that's graded actually. If you go back to discussions, I put a few comments in it. And if you click
Which one, Asani?
let's see, the personal writing journey discussion. If you click on that one, yep, yeah, go to SpeedGrader.
Yep. Well, that's why I knew that other one wasn't graded because it didn't have speed grader. So if you look here, Gabe, this is, so you would, let me go back.
I see under assignment comments, that
Right.
box. I
If
see,
you,
okay.
when you go to discussions, right? And you have a graded discussion, so this one
Mhm.
is graded. If you click on the menu or the hamburger menu, you'll see speed grader, and that's where you're going to go in and add your comments and add your grade.
Okay,
So I can see this person posted this, right? I can add a grade. I can view the rubric that I've done. So I can say, you know, they got points for this, they didn't get points for this, right? And then once I add the grade, and I can add a comment, and I can add it, I can type a comment here, or I can add a video comment. So if I want to do if I want to record the media, I don't want to do that, so I'm going to close that. But that's how you would do it. Or you can you know, create a file and say, okay, so I read all of this, you know, you got to watch your spelling. Everything is not one paragraph. You know, because I have a paper that I have saved in my computer at home with common discussion issues, right? So and sometimes I'll just open that and, you know, either copy and paste it into here or attach the file to say, you know, this was a really good effort, but in the future, tech speak is not collegiate. You know, I do want punctuation, I do want grammar.
okay, so I would go to speed grader first,
Mhm.
and that this would come up, and I could make my comments and add the points or subtract points,
Right.
whatever. Okay,
Right.
all right.
And then each person that has posted something, you can, you know, and you could say, oh, I love that you thought outside of the box and posted a video versus typing. But at the top here, this is how you manage, you know, go through.
Okay, thank you.
Now you'll notice that this student doesn't have a submission. So just these two have. So this one is grayed out because they didn't post. And then if I come back to if I click when I'm in the speed grader, if I click that little grade book, it brings me into the whole grade book. So then I could go to that discussion that student didn't post to, and I can say right here, you know, I can message the student who didn't submit. So I can say any student that has not submitted or that scored less than a certain amount, And I can say, you know, you didn't do this. It's due tomorrow. You know, and I can say, show the recipients, right? So that test student is actually like the preview student, so it's not going to email them. But if I went into this one and I said, message students who have not done this, right? It would show me those two students, Natalie and John, because they are actually student accounts and registered in the course. So then I could just say, hey, you didn't do the Q&A. I asked everybody to post something in that.
Does it show to both students or is it individualized? That
It's
email that will go to them?
I think
oh,
it's
yeah,
individualized, but I didn't.
Yeah, it's individualized.
Because like in Blackboard, you would have to like do each one individually, otherwise they would see all the names.
I'll double check, but I'm pretty sure it's individualized.
Right.
Great.
Because if you look, each one is on its own separate line. In Blackboard, right, it would have said Natalie Baker, comma, John Casey, comma,
Right.
right? It would have all, but these are separate.
Okay.
And again, you can attach a file, or you can do a video or audio, or you can just do text.